This is essentially your first elected position. It's not your first government position necessarily if you were to become successful and become the next Indiana governor, but you haven't been elected to office prior to this. Some would say, why are you starting on the very top rung of the ladder when it comes to the state of Indiana?
Well, because we have a vision for the state of Indiana, the people of Indiana, and we're the only one that has a plan. And I think that's why leaders asked me to run. What we want is a bold vision for the people of Indiana. For example, for 50 years, we've ignored our small towns and the 2.5 million people that live there. And we've had a lot of success in improving and revitalizing these small towns. And that's one of the key platforms that we are running on. And then we also have Regional Cities Initiative was something I architected that's really helped South Bend and Elkhart region for sure. And so when people see our plans and strategies, they're really attracted to us as a candidate.
One of the things that you did in your prior life, if you'd like to call it that, is running the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Talk about how you build on the record of the developments that have been taking place over the last, say, 8 years or so under the Holcomb administration.
Yeah, that's exactly what we intend to do. We know that the heart and soul of our economy is small business growth. And as we begin to restore all 92 counties and restore communities around the state of Indiana, and then begin to have each region be nationally recognized, which is what's happened in Fort Wayne. When I led that effort there, we were able to build a team that led Fort Wayne from not ranked in 2015 to the 32nd best place to live in the United States in 2023. We want to see that replicated all over the state of Indiana. And then what that does is leads to small business growth, which is really the heart and soul of your economy.
As you look at the job as it entails, it's in somewhat similar to what economic development does, and that is going out and trying to attract business to the state of Indiana. But on the flip side, there's the political side, the maneuverings that will happen through. Now, if the Republican supermajority holds in the state of Indiana, perhaps your job's a little bit easier. But are you prepared for the political machinations that you'll have to deal with if you are, in fact, the governor of Indiana?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that people know about me is I'm a highly relational guy, and I've developed a lot of relationships over the last 15 years across the spectrum, and especially with the General Assembly. So they also know that we have, our plans in writing. They can see, for example, our zero cost adoption plan that will help our 13,000 kids in foster care get in loving homes. And they've seen our plan for how to rein in bureaucracy and make sure that we have the right agency heads. And we've had conversations ongoing for the last 3 years as I've been on the road. So I think we're really prepared to have great relationships with the General Assembly and make sure that we get a lot done for the people of Indiana.
I mentioned Governor Holcomb a few moments ago. He can't run again, of course, due to term limits, which is why we have this primary race today. Are you happy with the way the last 8 years have gone under his administration? What would you keep? What would you expand? And what would you change?
Well, look, I've been very clear on this. I don't really talk about the past. Our focus is on the future and what we're going to do for the people of Indiana. Our commitment as governor will be to get 40 years worth of work done in 8. And we're going to run really hard. We're going to do the best we can to make sure that all 92 counties have a strategy to improve and that they can be, communities of opportunity. And that's what we're going to focus on is, what do we do over the next 8 years? And that's going to be the focus of our administration.
You talk mostly about economic issues in your campaign, and obviously that hits home for a lot of people because, as you know, the economy oftentimes is a driver. But abortion is also a big issue this year. Now, the state of Indiana has its abortion law set. Do you feel like this abortion law in the state of Indiana currently is about right? Does it not go far enough, or is it perhaps a little too far? And would you favor something that some other Republicans are pushing, and that's maybe a national abortion ban?
Look, I've been very clear on this from day one. I'm ardently pro-life. It's a human rights issue and a religious issue for me. And our main job as leaders is to protect the vulnerable. But we're going to really focus on zero cost adoption and trying to make sure that our 13,000 kids in foster care have the opportunity to get in a loving home. We spend about $5 billion a year on family services, and we're going to do everything we can to strengthen families, make sure that we protect the family and give them the best opportunity to be successful.
Do you feel as though abortion, as it has in some other states, has gone to a public vote? Do you feel like something like that would be appropriate for the state of Indiana, since Indiana has one of the most restrictive abortion laws in the country?
Well, look, I think the law in Indiana is settled, and I think that working through a General Assembly is the appropriate way to govern.
Thanks for watching. Here's another story you may like, and subscribe to the WSBT 22 YouTube channel.